Hello everyone, welcome to round 11 of season 8 for tier 3 of Fusion Racing League. And we are racing tonight at Interlagos, Brazil. And we are back to the usual 18-minute qualifying session and then the 50% race that will happen a little bit later on tonight. Now, as many of you will be seeing right now, it is currently raining out there. Looks like mostly light rain, so the entire field is currently on intermediates. But what's the tire graphics actually used for in qualifying? We'll see if the rain stops and if it will dry up, or if it will remain raining throughout the session. If it's drying up, then the times will only be getting quicker and quicker, and whoever goes out last very well might have a shot at taking pole position. But it could be getting even wetter for all we know. Depends on what the rain does. But we do have Chicken Wing being the first driver out onto the track. Ooh, already testing the limits of the track, seeing how much grip the grass is willing to give. Here we have Toxic Waste, Timmy Gun, and LPJVR all out on track as well. Qualifying in the rain is always quite interesting. I personally prefer it because typically you put in more than 3 laps worth of fuel, so that you can go round and round and round again, pushing harder each time. It's not all a one lap wonder, beating the conditions out. See the drivers here backing each other up, opening up some space in front of them. Oh, Chicken Wing is already invalidated. Okay, so we're going to go to Toxic Waste. Will be the next driver. Goes at turn 1. Center S's. Like that inside curve as much as possible. Open up the second turn. Now, it's all about traction in this final left-hander here. Want to have as high of an exit speed as possible. Toxic Waste doing well to keep it on track. Timmy Gun in the background already going into the wetter areas to cool down his tires. Immediately you can see a dry line forming. Oh, as Toxic Waste touched the grass then set the car off in a bit of a drift. He's gone off the track once again. Hasn't invalidated though, so he'll be free to continue pushing. Probably would have definitely lost a bit of time there. Now pushing on through towards Bunkau. Hitting the brakes. Bit slow on the apex there, but getting on the throttle way. We'll see what time it will be. Chicken Wing is still completing this lap, even though it won't count. As Toxic Waste goes across the line, it is a 1 minute 22.1 to be beaten. Timmy Gun will be immediately challenging that with a 1 minute 21.5, so it's a new benchmark. But LPJVR slots into second place, 2/10 down on the Alpine driver. And to quickly take a look to see who else is on a lap here. And Buckingham is on a flying lap as well here. And I believe Dark Shadow Racing is also on a flying lap. And then Buckingham goes up to third place with a 1 minute 22.0. And Wilder Blue, another female racer. Very glad to have her a part of this racing league. And we'll watch her as she goes through into this tricky middle sector. Bring up my track map here so I can remember what the corner names are. Go towards the Bico de Pato. Little the Duck. And Waterloo going now through final proper corner. On the run up now towards the finish line. What time will she be able to put down on the board? A 1 minute 21.3. A good time for the Aston Martin driver as Dark Shadow Racing has set the quickest time so far in the session of 1 minute 20.8. The only driver to sneak into the 1 minute 20s thus far. Yeah, other drivers currently on a flying lap. We do have Defmac here. Going through Pinheirinho. Ooh, there's a lot of sliding on the braking there. And that's the lap invalidated. Also on a flying lap here. Let's ride on board with the Mercedes driver. So, dry line already forming, and it looks like the rain is getting less and less, so we might be looking at slicks towards the end of this qualifying session. And I want to make sure that you are out there at the very end, get the track in its driest conditions to hit the fastest lap possible. I believe Alfie JVR might be on another lap here. Just going to jump on board with him quickly. No, I think he just completed a lap. But it seems like a bit of miscommunication there with his teammate. Defmac properly starting his own flying lap. And of course, a lot of battery here still to be burnt. Looks like he has timed that battery uses to perfection as he goes across the line in 5th place. 1 minute 21.7 for the Mercedes driver. See who else is on a lap. McLaren driver here, the sole McLaren driver of Defmac, going out into the Pico de Pato. He had a big slide on the previous lap, but it looks like it's all sorted out now. Going through Mercurio. Now finally Juncal. Ooh. Bit of sliding there. And Defmac was able to beat Fossa there with a 1 minute 21.5, putting himself up there into 5th place. Oh, now for JVL is also going for another lap, so he's definitely put a lot of laps of fuel into that car. So I don't think I've seen him go into the pits once ever since he came out for the first time. Oh, we've got a Ferrari there of Doctor Who off the track there, nose in the wall. And Mixie tries to navigate that Ferrari back onto track. Thankfully, no one else around him. It does not make the rejoin any more tricky than it already is. Oh, a lot of grass taken there, and that is Alfie JVR sliding sideways on the entry into the Pico de Pato. That is his lap finish. Now, does he go into the pits now and finally put on a new set of intermediate tyres? It is still raining. I don't think we're quite yet at the place where slicks will be quicker. Timmy Gunn here on his own flying lap, very deep in the final turn. Going to commit a lot of speed onto the entry there. But it will cost him quite a lot on the exit. I believe there's toxic waste in front of him. Oh no, Alfie JVR has stayed out. And toxic waste goes quickest. And Timmy Gunn only a few hundreds back, and he'll be kicking himself for going deep in the final turn. Because I imagine there's a corner where he potentially lost a bit of time. Did have a lovely tow all the way up the hill though. That would have improved his time a bit more. Alfie JVR once again going purple in the first sector. Not a lot of battery. Currently he seems comfortable with just going again and again and again. Maybe further assessing the conditions and seeing whether it will finally be dry enough for slicks. And White Tiger has posted lap time 1 minute 21.2. As you can see, the times are getting quicker and quicker and the field is quite condensed at this point. Oh, as Alpha JVR once again going off track out Bill of the Duck. Not just water that's sliding off Duck's back, it's also a certain Red Bull car that's sliding off there. Deathmack going across the line now, 1 minute 20.8. 1 minute 20.8. But 1 minute 20.799. So my initial call was quite accurate there. Finds himself up there in third place. So now a lot of the drivers in the pits and the rest are coming out to start their own flying laps. It almost looks dry enough for slicks. It stopped raining. I believe in the final 3 minutes you'll have to do at least 1 or 2 laps on the soft tires. See if you can improve. This already looks very dry. So if you're on the intermediates, you want to post lap now. Use it as your banker. Probably take pole at this point actually. But then go straight back into the pits. As we see White or Blue going a bit wide there. Off the track, they would have compromised her lap quite a lot. But definitely at this point you want to be doing 1 single lap on the intermediates, dive back into the pits and then go out again onto the soft tires. And Toxic Waste is the first driver to go onto the soft tires. LVJVR is in the pits there. Now, do you want to go out early on the soft tires and get 2 runs? First one to feel out the conditions, and then the second one to properly put the hammer down. Tire maybe not such a huge issue here. If I remember correctly, Brazil's actually more of an issue with the battery recharge. When you want to do a push-cool push, highway is not too bad. It's difficult to get the battery back up to 100%. And indeed, Wilder Blue goes fastest, even with a big mistake in turn 2. Shows you how much drier the track is now that it's finally stopped raining. At this point, you have to be going onto the soft tires, or potentially miss out on a lot of lap time. And Buckingham also goes up to second place, so these are good banker laps for these drivers, but they will have to rush back into the pits, put on a set of slick tires, go back out again, and try and set a better time. Dark Shadow Racing also going quicker here. Purple in the first sector. And DI is enabled. I must say I'm surprised that there's not a single driver who's already gone out on the soft tires. Because you could actually be doing a lap right now on the soft tires, go back into the pits and put on a new set of soft tires and go out again. There is enough time on the clock, and Brazil's a fairly short track. Ooh, as you can see, those intermediates, now that there's no water, they are overheating and not giving a lot of traction there for Dark Shadow Racing. And Doctor Who goes fastest. The Ferrari sits on top with a 1 minute 19.429, just a few hundredths ahead of Wilder Blue on the Aston Martin. Dark Shadow Racing now goes even quicker by a long way. .6 seconds to the good. But that won't mean anything now, because we've got some drivers here. We've got Joshua Knott and Chicken Wing on soft tires. Ooh, Chicken Wing looks like it could be on a lap, but it's already invalidated. And Joshua Knott and White Tiger are going to be the first drivers to start their own flying lap. Yeah, Chicken Wing was already on a flying lap there, but invalidated. He will have to recharge his battery and go again. Now Joshua Knott will get 2 runs if he has put enough fuel in his car. Have this run, a cool lap, and then go up to push hard again after that. And now a lot of drivers seem to be leaving the pits now, start their own flying laps. Timmy Gunn out there. And Joshua Knott has gone purple on the first sector, and look at that, it is bone dry. The sun seems starting to peek through the clouds a bit there. And will be starting his flying lap very soon. So we could see Dark Shadow Racing, if he's not able to go out in time and put a time on the board with these soft tires, we could see Dark Shadow Racing go from being at the top of the times to dead last. It has dried up that much. And we're now going on board with Timmy Gunn, who is behind Aston Martin here. I believe that could be White Tiger. So that is White Tiger. And Joshua Knight has now gone to the top of the times with a 1 minute 12.3. Massive delta there. All the slick tires compared to the intermediates. And if Buckingham though, still on the intermediates. And he will drop way down the order very rapidly as these other drivers start to post their lap times. White Tiger will see what the Aston Martin driver can do. Ooh, Junchao. Bit of lag there. Oh, and a bit of grass on the tires as well on the exit. Not the optimal line for the exit there. Trying to see who is on a lap and who's not on a lap. It's a bit chaotic currently. As White Tiger goes to the top by a further 2 seconds. 1 minute 10.5. Timmy Gunn is starting a lap, but is already almost out of battery, so it's strange. Very compromised. Potentially running out of time there. Persistent yellow flag, so I can't see how much time is left in the session. Now there is still time on the board, so I don't know why Timmy Gunn did not have any battery there. Take a look at LVJVR. He is starting his final flying lap, I believe. You know, we've expected him to have had a bit more battery there. It's typically he's about 20% or so at the most on the run into the first corner. You want to keep a lot for the rest of the lap. White or Blue goes even faster. The female Aston Martin driver going to the top with a 1 minute 09 seconds .627. And that is the end of the session. RVJVR. Oh, he's invalidated. 11th place is where he will remain at the end of the session. Timmy Gunn only able to jump up to 2nd place. Compromised by a lack of battery at the start of his lap, and it has come back to bite him. Finds himself only in 2nd place. Toxic Waste though, what can he do across the line? He goes quickest with a 108.634. Anyone else on a flying lap? No, Chicken Wing is not on a flying lap, but Dark Shadow Racing down there in 8th place looks to change that with his lap as he goes through the Pico de Pato, now through Mercurial. A lot of battery to be spent here on the way to the line. Through the final turn we go. Get on the power as early as he can. Is that front wing damage I just saw there? Yes, it is front wing damage. I wonder how the Mercedes driver got that. Has it hurt his lap too much? Yes, it has. He will only be able to slide up to 5th place with a 109.933. And Forza, during all of that, did not see him on a lap, but he snuck his way up into 2nd place with a 109.533 there. The 2 Mercedes drivers with 3.3 at the end of their times. A crazy qualifying session there, and surprisingly, LVJVR, championship leader, and I think at this point He's about to win the championship. Haven't looked too much at the championship standings, but he finds himself in last place after that qualifying session. Very surprised by the fact that there are a lot of drivers who did not go out for multiple runs on the soft tyres at the end there. A lot of them were forced to take multiple runs because of mistakes. They could have made things a little bit easier for themselves had they gone out slightly earlier, set a banker lap and then go for a proper push lap right at the end. But your pole set is Toxic Waste in the Racing Bulls. Also, second place, Wider Blue in third place, Timmy Gunn in fourth place, Darkseid Racing in fifth place. Keep an eye out for him. He is very fast in the races. And then Def Mac in sixth position. Okay, now it would be a couple minutes break and then we'll start the actual main race and we'll see what happens then. And it looks like it is dry. See you then. And it is bright and sunny for the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Interlagos. Long gone are the days of rain and drizzle that we experienced in qualifying. Or are they long and gone? Because there are clouds in the sky. And whether it will remain that way, or whether those clouds will come over this track and start to drop some little bits of rain, we'll have to wait and see. So with a mixed up grid due to a changeable conditions qualifying session, where it went from wet to dry. We look now at the field, see what tyres they have on their cars, and the majority of the drivers are medium tyres. Defmac in 6th position, and from 9th downwards are all on hard tyres, as everyone else in front of them are on medium tyres. Now for JVR, starting from the back on those hard tyres, will look to go long on his first in as we see Chicken Wing has had a spin on the formation lap. No damage, thankfully. Now, ready to line up on the grid that faces uphill for the crest into turn 1. Center S's. All important for these drivers to make their way through the first complex of corners cleanly without damage. 5 red lights are about to go on. We are racing in Interlagos, and it is a terrible stop from Timmy Gunn further in the back, and FMAC has hit the wall on the inside. As he lost a bit of control there, potentially a bit of contact with someone else there, and he found himself hitting the inside wall. His drivers going side by side here, more contact, a couple of front wing end plates flying all over the place. We have an Aston Martin there looking to try and make a move on Timmy Gunn there. Darksetter Racing appears to have front wing damage. Yes, he does have front wing damage. Wilder Blue going very, very wide there. Or potentially losing a bit of traction there. Keep it clean. Stay out of trouble. It is currently Forza leading from Toxic Waste, the pole sitter. He is going very slow there. Instantly a bit of a slide there, losing traction, and had to slow the car up to catch it. Timmy Gunn finds himself there in 6th position. Thankfully no damage to him. White Tiger in 7th place as well. Joshua in 8th. Doctor Who in 9th. Alfie JVR finds himself there in 10th place with a lot of front wing damage. That is not what he needed. Intensely involved with the contact with Defmac as you see. Oh, that is Wilder Blue going off the track. Oh no. The Aston Martin driver is trying to stay out of trouble there, but ended up having an unwanted rendezvous with trouble, finding herself off the track on the final turn, dipping 2 tyres on the grass in the braking zone into turn 1. We've got multiple drivers side by side. Doctor Who, Joshua not taking to the runoff area. RPJVR fighting with that heavily damaged front wing, will have no rotation whatsoever from the front of the car. White Tiger sweeps around the outside of Timmy Gunn but goes off track whilst doing so. It's good battling between these two drivers. Timmy Gunn stays ahead of White Tiger into Pilodella. Wilder Blue then 8th place ahead of Alfie JVR, who will now start to drop back as the damage sinks in and the rest of the field starts to pull away. And currently Forza finds himself in the lead of the race. Seven tenths is the gap It will be large enough to protect his position into turn 1. We're going to bring up the telemetry to take a look at the battery situation. And Fossa has more battery than Toxic Waste, which is a very good sign indeed at this early stage of the race. Timmy Gunn fighting with Chicken Wing. Timmy Gunn has worked his way up to 4th place. Chicken Wing will immediately attack again, going around the outside into turn 4. Descida del Lago. And Chicken Wing has made a stick. Timmy Gunn won't be too happy about that. He's losing a lot of time here battling with the Red Bull driver, but he has no choice but to sit behind him for now. But he's going to try and go for a move here on the inside. Keeps it tight to the apex curb and he makes the move stick. Good move there by Timmy Gunn. And Alfie JVR has pitted now to get rid of that damaged front wing. He's put on a set of soft tyres. Getting front wing damage that early on a set of hard tyres almost certainly would have compromised his race here. Hopefully he took 2 hards going into this race. If he did not, it would be very difficult for him to take his car to the end on only medium tyres. It is possible. This track doesn't have the most tyre wear. Oh, bit of a move going on here as Toxic Waste is off the track on the inside of turn 4. Descida del Lago mixed up the valves there. And he has rejoined ahead of Chicken Wing, but a lot of damage done to his tyres there with a big slide and spin there. Toxic Waste has found himself plummeting from challenging for the lead of the race down to 4th place. And it is currently Mercedes 1-2 in Dark Shadow Racing, even with that front wing damage, up there in 2nd place. Trying to get within DRS range of his teammate. Timmy Gunn, the Alpine driver, once again finding himself in a podium position. Chicken Wing sliding there in the final turn. Tiger looking to try and make a move on the Red Bull driver. Looking at the inside. A bit of a squirm there from the Red Bull driver. Almost losing control of the car there, but doing enough to hang it around the outside. Has just about enough battery here, I would say, to defend this position, but doesn't seem like as though he's burning too much at this stage. But that is White Tiger through into 5th place around the outside. Oh, but very slow on the exit. Chicken Wing hitting the exit of his lifetime there. While seeing the Aston Martin driver, there's Doctor Who. Sweeps around the outside of Water Blue, who is going a bit slow at this stage. Oh, and that is the other Aston Martin driver off the track. White Tiger fighting with Chicken Wing. Losing the back end of the car. Now tap from the rear. Sends him off the track for a 2nd excursion. Now it is Doctor Who's turn to try and tackle Chicken Wing and get past him. Two Mercedes drivers are now with each other at the front of the field. We'll keep an eye on them and see if that gap closes at all, as Doctor Who, getting very, very close to Chicken Wing, and a little bit too close if you ask me. And the front wing won't like that. Doesn't look to be all that damaged. I have to see. We're about to go 3 wide potentially into Descida del Lago. Descida del Lago. Get the valves correct in the correct order there. Turn 4. Let's go turn 4. And that is Doctor Who with the move secured ahead of Chicken Wing. And really not wanting to stay with the car there. And yeah, just sliding constantly. We're going to go to the front of the field though, because Dark Shadow Racing putting his teammate under a bit of pressure here. Also though, keeping his battery under control. Oh, a lot of sliding though on the rear axle. Clearly these drivers are already struggling with the rear tires. As Wilder Blue has got past Chicken Wing. And in a way, Dark Shadow Racing's front wing damage might be helping him out slightly. With slightly less front downforce, it means that the rear gets protected slightly. And if the others are all struggling with the rear tires, it might just be helping out the Mercedes driver in second place. I've got this train of three here. Wilder Blue, Chicken Wing, and White Tiger. Oh, and that is Chicken Wing off the track. His rear tires have been crying out in pain for the last couple of laps, and they have finally given up. Alfie JVR only 16 seconds behind Joshua Knott here. Take a look at the gap to the leader. Alfie JVR 31 seconds down. This shows how much that contact in the first lap has compromised him as Dark Shadow Racing challenging for the lead down the inside. Oh, that is very, very deep. Oh, that is more contact between the two Mercedes drivers. Looks very, very familiar to what we've been seeing so far this year in real life F1, as well as in one particular year during the Mercedes domination. I am of course talking about 2016, but the two Mercedes drivers fighting with each other and potentially almost taking each other out, which would gift Timmy Gunn the lead of the race. In fact, he's already caught up with him. This has compromised the Mercedes position in the race because now they have a third driver in the DRS train. So if they fight with each other like that once again and lose a lot of time, might suddenly see an Alpine leading the race. Will be take two for the Mercedes drivers. Dark Shadow Racing is burning battery here. Timmy Gunn conserving it, but they're setting himself up nicely. His forcer once again goes deep in the middle of turn one, excuse me, and compromises his exit out of the center S's. Oh, but Dark Shadow Racing actually still has quite a bit of battery, so I think Dark Shadow Racing just running a lower downforce setup, as he pulled quite a bit away from Timmy Gunn, but without really losing much battery. But Shadow Racing going deep in turn 4. Compromises exit, almost let Timmy Gunn through. In fact, Timmy Gunn really does want to get this position. You don't want to be the third driver in this train. You want to be the second driver so they can get DRS over the driver in front who does not have DRS and be the first to overtake them and get past. Oh, that is a late dive bomb there from Timmy Gunn. Backs out of it last second, but it has compromised his run and has eased the pressure off of the two Mercedes drivers, and will allow Dark Shadow Racing to once again attack his teammate for the lead of the race. Doesn't seem to be too much action further back, but Dark Shadow Racing struggling out the final turn. Not burning battery here, which is a very interesting choice. Timmy Gunn though using up all of his battery on the inside, trying to outbrake the Mercedes driver. Does outbrake him. Oh, but they've gone very, very deep. There's both of them nearly going off the track, and now Dark Shadow Racing finds himself facing the wrong way and hits the barrier with his rear wing. Makes sure to rejoin safely here. Does just about do so. Stay to the left of the inside curb there and allow the two Aston Martin drivers to get past him. And it has happened. The contact has happened between two of the top 3 drivers, but it wasn't between the two Mercedes drivers, it was between Timmy Gunn and Forza. Very interesting that Dark Shadow allowed himself to be attacked like that into turn 1. He had the battery, but just did not want to burn it. Try to hang around the outside of Timmy Gunn. Both of them went in very, very deep. Dark Shadow Racing went off the track and rejoined the track, but into the side of Timmy Gunn. Caused him to be spun half around. And now Timmy Gunn gets to take a look at the lead of the race, but he does not have enough battery. He'll have to harvest some battery percentage here. Sort out his state of charge. and prepare for a proper attack the next lap around, as we see both of the Aston Martin drivers entering the pits. Double stack, anyone? Going to go in there. Oh, if this was real life, the Mercedes driver would be stuck here behind the Aston Martin driver, but because Dark Shadow Racing is changing his front wing, it doesn't matter in the end. So, White Tiger still gets ahead of Dark Shadow Racing. So the two Aston Martins double stacked, and they both still came out ahead of the Mercedes driver. LVJVR, those tyres will be very old at this stage. In fact, let's bring up. There's some penalties, a couple of drivers there with time penalties, as you see Chicken Wing fighting here with Joshua Knott. LVJVR on 8 lap old softs. I believe that's about as far as they go. You can take them to around 10 laps. But he will be losing a lot of grip already with those tires. Mika not really able to get any closer to Forza. His battery's in a slightly better condition now, but not good enough yet for him to attack. Also, he's been leading the race from the start. Toxic Waste was your pole sitter, but he has dropped back and is now under attack from the Ferrari driver of Doctor Who. And LVJVR's day goes from bad to worse and worst, as he gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. Brilliant move there from Doctor Who on the inside of Ferradura. Committed to it. Oh, and he has committed his car off into the grass. Slightly too eager on the throttle pedal there. Bit too much torque delivered to the rear tires for the amount of grip that they were willing to offer. And Doctor Who finds himself now plummeting down the order once again. He is then 5th place, so it's not too bad. He can still cover his race somewhat from that position, but his rear tires won't be happy with him. And again, any time that you lose in this first stint is even more punishing because of you wanting to go long on those hard tires, as the front two are now fighting with each other. Forza and Timigun missed those two getting close to each other, but Timigun had a look at Forza, tried to challenge him through the center S's, and looked like as though one of them was off the track. I can't remember who it was. But Forza is able to stay in front for now. For how much longer will he be able to stay in the lead of this race? We are getting very close to the pit stop window. Can be a 2-stop around here, but I believe these front two are aiming for a 1-stop. RVJVR fighting with Defmac. Big tyre offset there in favour of the Red Bull driver. Now round 2, Timigun. This is probably his 5th round of battling with the Mercedes driver this evening. Don't know if he quite has enough battery. Definitely looks like Timigun is running a higher downforce setup because he's not gaining a lot in the straights. Even with DRS, the battery's being spent quite quickly. Ooh, and there's a nasty lockup on the front tyre there. Also, keeping a neat through turns 2 and 3 gives him a good enough exit here. And Timigun's not burning here, so that is the position held onto by Forza for now. Chicken Wing is in the pits now. So Water Blue, Dog Shadow Racing and White Tiger, they'll be on a 2-stop, I believe. Take a look to see how far away are they from the leaders. 28 seconds behind Forza is Water Blue, so won't be able to jump them if they're to pit right now. Let's see, which one of these two pit now? Timigun pits now, he might get the undercut on Forza. Does Forza pit right now? No, he stays out and Timigun stays out as well. Timigun looks to the inside, brakes as late as he can, but Oh, Forcer's gone too deep. He's gone off the track in turn 1, and he now will have to rejoin the track behind Timigan on the exit of turn 2, and that is the work made easy for Timigan by Forcer going in very, very deep there. Timigan showed his nose, and Forcer was sufficiently spooked enough to miss his braking point and go off the track there. So now it doesn't matter. Well, it does still matter who pits first, because if Forcer pits now and Timigan stays up for another lap, we very likely will see Forcer undercut the Alpine driver and retake the lead. So this is a good opportunity for Timigan to fight for a race win here tonight. Well, there's Chicken Wing getting past F-Mac, I believe, or defending from him. Oh, the McLaren. Once again, a case of the missing nose. Some extreme weight-saving measures being taken there by the Papaya outfit. Doesn't seem to be working out too well for them. Airflow probably being heavily disrupted by the blunt shape there, as we see Forcer and Toxic Waste going to the pits. Getting rid of the medium tyres. Timigan stays up for one more lap. We'll see if he stays up for another 2 or 3. If he does, that will give him a much better tyre offset and a grip advantage at the end of the race. Toxic Waste is actually not too far behind Forcer. So that's quite interesting. Dogshadow Racing, after that spin and replacing his front wing, even though he's had 5 laps worth of undercuts, he has not been able to catch back up to Forcer, who he was battling early on in this Grand Prix for the lead of the race. Also stuck behind Wilder Blue here, so Timigan could stay out for a few more laps and hope that Wilder Blue holds up the Mercedes driver. In fact, Timigan does stay out. He's gone past the pit entry. So every lap that Timigan does now on those medium tyres is just putting him in an even better position for the final stint. Giving himself even more of a tyre advantage. Also now will start to be held up somewhat here by Wilder Blue, unless also can overtake. Oh, and that is Wilder Blue getting on the power a little bit too eagerly. The back end stepping out, and that is Forcer now no longer being hindered by the Aston Martin, and will be able to look at undercutting Timigan, retake the lead of the race. Dogshadow Racing challenging Toxic Waste now. Dogshadow Racing will very likely have to pit again, but he might already be trying to look after his tyres, just eke them to the end of the race and hang on to as many points as possible. Timigan, the race leader, now enters the pits. He's gone 2 laps longer than Forcer, just his nearest competitor for the win, for the lead of the race here tonight. Forcer's coming along, start finish straight now through the Senna S's. It's going to be pit lane Senna S version against Axel Senna S, and it is Forcer who wins out there. But Timigan will have to push hard here to stay ahead of the Aston Martin driver, but does not stay ahead of Wilder Blue. So Forcer was at one stage looking to be potentially held up by the Aston Martin driver, but now it'll be Timigan who's held up by Wilder Blue. And Dogshadow Racing has overtaken Toxic Waste on the Reta Oposta, utilizing the drag reduction system. Dogshadow Racing finding himself up now into 6th position. You do have Alan Buckingham and Doctor Who out in front who have yet to pit. They will be going on for as long as possible. Doctor will be trying to be the lead driver on the hard tyres here. Megan, again, struggling along the straights for straight line speed. Deciding to not attack now, but save battery and attack here out of the Curva do Sol. DRS open, but no battery being spent. Now I have to sit another lap stuck behind Water Blue, and every lap that he is stuck behind Water Blue, it is only increasing the chances of Forza winning the race. So this battle here is very important for the lead of the race. Timmy Gunn though not exactly crawling away over the back of the Aston Martin in this middle sector. Could be trying to hold back and look after the tyres, but pitted late enough that there's not a whole lot of tyre saving that needs to be done. Well, here we go again. Start off in a straight. Into turn 1, burning the battery, shape to the inside, brake as late as he dare, take the inside curb, and secure 4th place. And Water Blue finds himself very tight on the entry into turn 2, compromises the exit, and Dark Shadow Racing will be looking to try and jump her as well. On the inside into Desida, Interlagos. And Dark Shadow Racing has made the move stick on the inside. Dark Shadow Racing now looking for a move around the outside of the Aston Martin, but not able to make it stick. Tries to go for a bit of a switchback, but that also does not quite work out for him. Meanwhile, Doctor Who has been able to get past Anna Buckingham. Fortunately, we did miss that. It depends on how much longer those two stay out. They could pit this lap and take the medium tyre 16 laps. But I think they might try and aim for lap 21 or lap 22. And Buckingham though has gone into the pits, I think. Yes. Williams driver into the pits, and that clears the way for Forza. He now no longer has a car between him and Timmy Gunn. The battle is on once again. And a familiar face returns here. Right up on the back of Timmy Gunn. Although he has much older tyres, he is shown to have a lot of good pace here. Momentary yellow flag. Toxic Waste has got past Water Blue. Bit of damage there to Toxic Waste front wing, so potentially an incident between the two of them that calls that yellow flag. And now we breathe. Doctor Who currently leads on 20 lap old hard tyres, but he will no longer lead after this lap because he's entered the pits. He's had enough of his hard tyres and manages to avoid getting a pit lane speeding penalty. Going out for medium tyres. Will rejoin ahead of Adam Buckingham if everything goes according to plan. Of course, Brazil being one of the few tracks where you will truly race on the pit exit through a series of corners. Try and make sure you don't crash into the wall and damage your front wing before you even properly rejoin the track. And then Buckingham managed to jump Doctor Who with that undercut. Forza. Old rivals have reunited. Timmy Gunn within half a second now of Mercedes driver, but with a lot less battery. Also making sure he has 100% battery. All the energy in the tank to defend this position from Timmy Gunn. Also leads from Timmy Gunn. Darksider Racing finds himself back up there in 3rd place. Will do well to take those tyres all the way to the end of the race. Toxic Waste, the pole sit in 4th place. Water Blue 5th place. White Tiger in 6th place. The 2 Aston Martin drivers once again sticking close to each other. But Alfie JVR looking to change that and make a move on White Tiger. And back to the front of the field just to make sure nothing is going to happen here. Alfie JVR will have to put again those medium tyres when make it to the end of the race, so I believe Alfie JVR did not have 2 hard tyres with him. Oh. Timmy Gunn having to avoid Forza there. Also just playing the patient game here in the middle sector. Not using up any battery and waiting for the start finish tray. Oh, that's a very tight entry to the final turn and not a very good exit. The fence compromised already for the Mercedes driver. Go run up the hill. Once again, Timmy Gunn losing out on the straights, but now with DRS, we'll be able to make up enough for the deficit. Looking at the inside, but oh, Forza's once again gone very, very deep, and he spun. Forza, the driver who led so many laps of this Grand Prix, has spun and has damaged his front wing on Timmy Gunn. And Timmy Gunn has also lost a front wing end plate, and now it is Darksider Racing who takes the lead of the race. He has older tyres, but he does not have any front wing damage, and that might just about even out the odds enough for the Mercedes driver. Timmy Gunn will not be happy with that. Also going very deep in the middle of turn 1, then losing it on the throttle. Timmy Gunn was not able to avoid him in time. 2 made contact, and both are now left with scars of their battle that they will have to endure with throughout the rest of the race. It has hurt Forza far more than it has hurt Timmy Gunn though. Timmy Gunn will potentially have to make some balance changes to his car. Go slightly lower on the brake bias. Potentially even loosen up the differential slightly. But he will still continue to try and attack Darksider Racing here. Going into turn 1, Timmy Gunn has the inside, but does he have the front downforce? Yes, he does. And the Alpine driver reinserts himself in the lead of the race. Now Forza has entered the pits to get rid of his tyres, and Doctor Who's fighting with Anna Buckingham. Now these two who start on the hard tyres and very long, it has worked out brilliantly for them. So they find themselves out there with fairly fresh tyres, very grippy medium tyres, and they have quite a big gap between them and the rest of the drivers. Water Blue and White Tiger both pitted once again on the same lap, it looks like, double stacking with each other, committing to the 2-stop strategy. And you see how much that spin has hurt Forza, because he has now pitted a second time. He's on medium tyres, but he does not really have any sort of tyre advantage over Toxic Waste and Water Blue, who are both in front of him. Now all of a sudden Doctor Who's looking at a podium here. Oh, Darksider Racing's pitting, so he's decided he can't take those tyres to the end. He's going to go for the 2-stop strategy. Will cost him quite a bit of time here. Going up for more hard tyres. It's really not a bad decision for him as he hits the wall there. Hopefully he didn't damage his front wing there. That would be a very silly way to lose crucial front downforce, but no, the front wing looks very much intact there. Timmy Gunn has damage, and he also has a penalty. 3-second penalty. So Darksider Racing can pump in some very quick laps here and keep on doing those lap times all the way to the end of the race. He might still be in the running for the race 1. Probably should have pitted earlier so you could take more advantage of those hard tires. He has dropped back, but he hasn't dropped back too far. By the time he catches up to Adam Buckingham and Doctor Who, he should have a big enough of a tire offset to be able to overtake these two drivers without too much trouble. And we see Joshua not losing a position here to Wider Blue. Wider Blue on much fresher tires. Toxic Waste will try and get past as quickly as possible as well. Oh, Joshua not getting a 3-second penalty there for track limits. He currently sits the highest on the penalty chart with 9 seconds. Goes in very, very deep, touched the grass slightly, and that has given Toxic Waste 6th position here. And LVJVR has recently pitted on to newer medium tires. Lap old medium tires. And he is going to be trying to fly through the field as quickly as possible. It definitely has not been the day that LVJVR would have hoped it to be. Still stuck down in 11th place, struggling to get past his teammate there. And of course, being on medium tires, you just know that your time is limited for as to how long you will have a massive grip advantage. Go around the outside of his teammate here. Hits a purple sector 3, but lost a lot of time in the middle sector there. Do well to get ahead of White Tiger and potentially Joshua Not, but it will be very difficult for LVJVL to climb any higher than that. Joshua Not potentially having to pit again. Those medium tires will definitely not take him to the end of the race. Doctor and Buckingham both with the most positions gained. They sit on 8 positions gained each. And the top 3 are all one-stoppers. Joshua Not is one stopper, and Chicken Wing has also only stopped the 1 time. LVJVL stopped 3 times. Force has got past Joshua Not now as well. He is going along very, very slowly indeed. Dark Shadow Racing is closing in on the Williams driver. Oh, we have him at Aston Martin off there. That's White Tiger. That has allowed LVJVR to jump him already. Fighting going on here. Toxic Waste off the track with Wider Blue once again. And once again we missed it. Dark Shadow Racing 16 seconds off of the leader of Timmy Gunn. A lot of ground for him to make up in only 6 laps. I believe Timmy Gunn is very much the favourite. Definitely the dominant favourite to win the race. Definitely going those 2 laps longer will be really helping Timmy Gunn now, because it has reduced the tyre offset between him and Dark Shadow Racing, so it's very difficult for the Mercedes driver to be putting in significantly faster lap times than the Alpine driver who currently leads the race. LVJVR is a 6-second penalty. Even if he gets past Forza, you have to open up 6 seconds worth of gap. It's not really going to be possible for him. We have only 5 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. Timmy Gunn leads by 10 seconds ahead of Doctor Who is himself 1.2 seconds ahead of Darksider Racing. Anna Buckingham is in 4th place. But I believe will struggle to hang on ahead of Blue. Let's see how many penalties he has. 6 seconds worth of penalties for Anna Buckingham will cost him that 4th place as it stands. Blue in 5th place, 1.8 seconds ahead of Toxic Waste. Forza in 7th place. Alfie JVR starting from the back of the grid and getting damage in the opening lap. Finds himself in 8th place. White Tiger there 9th, Chicken Wing in 10th place, and Joshua Knott in 11th place. Then finally Defmac rounds out the order in 12th position. Apparently Darksider Racing has caught up to the back of Doctor Who. Will hope to make a move immediately, and he sets off to do just that. Flying past on the straight with DRS into turn 1. No chance for the Doctor to stay ahead. Have a fight brewing here between Alfie JVR and Forza. Forza does not need to fight this too hard. Alfie JVR does have 6 seconds worth of penalties. Ooh. Also, I have to fight the Traxon there. Forza and Traxon are not on speaking terms right now, that much is clear. A lot of sliding for both of them. Sliding for Alfie on the entry and then sliding for Forza on the exit. Chicory and Joshua Knott are fighting with each other quite fiercely there. Alfie will be going to have another go at Forza here. Forza with a lot of straight line speed out of the final turn there. Alfie JVR, however, has put himself there on the inside. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. Forza goes off the track. Alfie JVR tried to outbrake the Mercedes driver, was not able to do so. And then the two of them ended up coming together in the middle of the corner. Alfie JVR is not going to let him rest. He's going to attack him once again into the next turn. And bye-bye, Forza. See you later. That is not the track, my friend. Forza missing his braking point there. And going off in an attempt to keep the Red Bull driver behind him. And in all that, Forza's got himself a penalty. Second penalty. I have to make sure he does not lose further position to White Tiger, because he's not getting that back on penalties. And he will have slightly worse tyres at this stage than White Tiger. The gap's a bit too large for what is only 2 laps left in this race. And Buckingham losing out to YW there on track, struggling with traction, and that will cost him a position, I believe, as well. To Toxic Waste, just leave that up. Yeah, 9 seconds of penalties compared to 3 seconds. Darksider Racing, only 1.5 seconds to go before he is in the net lead of the race. So Timmy Gunn will have to put his foot down here, not slack off, because gap is very, very small right now. He only has 1 more lap to do. He has to make sure he does not lose a second in that lap. He is struggling for straight line speed. So we'll have to have at least a 3/10 gap, I would say, on the exit of the final corner. 2.3 seconds gap on the final corner if he wants to keep the race lead. Unless, of course, he runs out of battery and Dark Side Racing does not. So it is currently a very, very tight fight here for the lead of the race. And it's going the way of Dark Side Racing. No damage and fresher tires has made this a very tough challenge for Timmy Gunn to overcome. And even in the middle sector, which is where Timmy Gunn has had his advantage the whole day, Dark Side Racing is already within 3 seconds. He's now 2 seconds. 1.8 seconds. It is over for the Alpine driver unless Dark Side Racing messes up the final turn, which he does not. And this is not even going to be close for Timmy Gunn. He is going to miss out on a race win here. He will still celebrate it because he's won on track. But when you add the penalties, it is Dark Side Racing who wins once again for the Silver Arrows. He was fighting for the lead at the beginning, he was spun around, but he persevered, and he finds himself at the top of the times once again. First place. Doctor Who rounds out the podium, a brilliant podium for the Ferrari driver. Toxic Waste gets Anna Buckingham on the line, and with penalties. 5th and 6th for Toxic Waste and Anna Buckingham, respectively. Forza jumps ahead of Alfie JVR based on penalties, and Alfie JVR loses 2 positions on the line due to 6 seconds of penalties. White Tiger doing well to stay within those 3 seconds, because White Tiger, I believe, also had a 3-second penalty. Astronaut rounds out the top 10. Chicken Wing in 11th place. And Devmac jumps him again due to penalties for 11th place. The race winner, ladies and gentlemen, Dark Side Racing, once again. You can never count him out, always finds a way back to the top step. Timmy Gunn once again doing very well in the qualifying start of the race to be challenging for the race win, but the 3-second penalty for track limits proving very costly at the end. He won on track. Should not forget that. But the FIA are very strict with how much you stay within the white lines. Megan went over the white lines once too many. Doctor Who making the alternative strategy work out brilliantly for him. Only 6.2 seconds off the lead. That is a very good result, considering he started from 10th place on the grid. Went on those hard tires, had a lurid spin here and there, but managed to keep his nose clean for the most part. And he secured that 3rd place on the podium. Wilder Blue, starting from 3rd of the grid, moved down to 4th. Toxic Waste, the pole sitter, not quite the race that he would have wanted, but 5th place is not a bad result. And that's that. It was a very good race from the Tier 3 drivers tonight. A good battle for the lead that kept on changing hands. The nature of the race was changing the whole time. We didn't even have any sort of wet weather during that race. I did wonder at the beginning if those clouds would bring rain later on, but the track conditions stayed dry. But the strategies and the types of battles definitely did not stay the same. Big congratulations to the top 3. Thank you everyone for racing with us, and to everyone who's watching the live stream and supporting your favorite driver. Thank you for being with us tonight. That is it from me. I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.